Good evening and welcome. This is Whole and Beautiful. I am Angela Oliphant, your host, and I am so glad that you all have joined me tonight for a night of information, revelation, and change. It's another Friday night, and I am so glad that you have allowed me in your homes, that you have allowed me in your car if you're driving, or wherever you may be on tonight. Guys, I want to continue to tell you, you can send me an email at wholebeautiful@gmail.com if you have ideas of what you would like to see on the show. Sometimes maybe I could get those people in for you. I still am working on some couples conversation shows. I'm still working on the mentoring moment shows and getting those people in so that they can come in and talk. But if you know somebody that you would love to see as a guest on the show, just let me know and I will get them on. If there's a topic you're saying, oh, I want some information about that, send me an email at wholebeautiful@gmail.com and I will research it. I'll find out as much as I can. If I need to bring a guest on, we'll bring a guest on and we will talk about that topic. So if you have some topics that you would like to know about or hear about or learn more about, let me know. wholebeautiful@gmail.com. Tonight, I wanted to just share with you, just like I did like last week. Last week, we talked about finances and we were talking about budgeting. But this week, I wanted to share with you some information just about conversations and communicating. Because a lot of times I realize that I watch people. That's my thing. People are, I watch them, I watch how they interact with each other. And sometimes we don't express ourselves like we should, or we don't communicate well. And a lot of people say, well, they're not communicating with me. I've seen people in marriages where they say their main problem is communication. Nobody's talking, nobody is sharing, nobody's communicating the way that they feel or what's going on with them to the other person. Even in friendships, communication. We need to be able to talk to each other. We need to be able to have conversations with each other. And in the world that we live in right now, we have our phones and people are so much into their phones that they don't take time really to sit and talk to people, to really have a conversation with them and see what's going on in their lives, see what's happening with them, see what is actually just going on the inside of them. Sometimes we're not face to face anymore. We don't get to see people and sit down and have lunch with them or have dinner with them or even have a cup of coffee in the morning and just sit and have a conversation with someone. Conversations can mean a lot and they can change a lot. Sometimes we have to have those hard conversations with our family members where we have to share what's in our heart and sit and listen to what they're saying also, so that we can form a bond, so that we can build a relationship with that particular person. And oftentimes now everybody's trying to do everything through their phone. They'll send an email, they'll send a text, they will do everything but sit down and just have a face-to-face conversation with the other person. I am big on having conversations with people and sending letters. I love to send a letter. I still send letters in the mail. And because I think it's personal. I think it's more than just a text message that you may send somebody. I think it's more than just that email, that you send out, or even that group text. I don't know about y'all, but sometimes I don't like the group text messages as much as I do that one-on-one text message. When somebody sends me a one-on-one, when they put me in this big old group, it's okay if I have a group like with my family, because my family with me and my sons and my daughter in love and my daughter, we send messages through text, and it's great that we have that bond. And I send them a video message in the morning just to communicate some things to them, just to share some things with them. But nothing takes the place of me sitting down with them and actually being face to face with my sons and talking to them, actually being face to face with my daughter, talking to her, being face to face with my grandchildren. I love to see them on video chat, and I love to talk to them on the phone and different things like that. But I love it more when we're face to face and we're talking and we're communicating. I get to see them up close and personal, and I get to feel what they're feeling and kind of, just sit and discern some things sometimes, because sometimes they may be going through some things that we don't even know about. And because we just putting on the face, for the video, and we get on the video and we talk a good game, but we know that we're not doing well, or we know that we're not feeling good, or when we try to cover all these things up and not be honest and have a honest, truthful conversation with somebody to communicate to them how you're really feeling about whatever the situation may be, or maybe it's just a conversation that you have with that friend where you just want to just breathe. So we need to be more together, and I think for us to be more together, we need to talk to each other, and not just talk. We need to communicate. We need to have conversations. One quote that I wanted to share with you tonight is a quote, and it says, it's by Stephen Covey. I think that is his name, but it says, "Seek first to understand, then to be understood." Seek first to understand, then to be understood. So when someone is speaking with you and they're talking with you and they're sharing with you, you want to understand what they're saying. You want to understand where it's coming from. You want to understand what is going on in their life at this moment, that they would choose you to be the person that they're talking to. Whether it's a family member, whether it's your child, whether it's a friend, maybe it's even somebody that you really don't know that well, but they have chosen you to converse with. They have started talking to you. They have started pouring their heart out to you. Maybe they just talked to you in passing, and you have this little 5-minute conversation. 5 minutes is a long time when you're talking to somebody. They may stop you in the grocery store and just talk to you. You never know what that conversation will do for somebody. So you need to pay attention. We need to listen to each other. That's my first point for tonight. We need to listen. You need to be able to sit and listen to what somebody's actually saying. Sometimes we don't pay attention to what somebody else is saying. We're just so used to saying the same things, and we just have this thing where we just going about our day. Because and the way that I can explain that to you is I did it, and it's been years ago, but it has stuck with me until this day. And to this day, I try to make sure that I pay attention to what someone is saying to me, because I walked up to this lady. I had known her for a while, but everybody's speaking. They said, "Hey, how you doing?" And usually everybody said, "Fine, I'm doing well," or "I'm doing good." And or they'll say, "I'm blessed," or "I'm highly favored," and people would say things like that. So that particular day, she said, "How are you doing today?" And I told her, I said, "Oh, I'm doing good today. How are you?" And she said, "I'm not feeling too good today. My body's not feeling good. I'm not feeling too good today." And I was like, "Oh, that's good." And I kept talking. And I didn't even realize until I got almost to the end of my sentence. I was like, "Wait a minute, hold up. You said you're not feeling good." And she said, "Yeah, that's what I said." But because I was so used to the whole like pleasantries or whatever, how you doing? "Oh, I'm doing fine. I'm doing good." "Oh, how you doing?" "Oh, I'm doing well too." And you're just so used to people saying that. It's like I thought I heard her say that she was doing fine, but she didn't say that. She wasn't doing well. So that turned that whole conversation around. But then you know what? It made me start to listen, actually pay attention to what somebody is saying. And I know like this weekend, A lot of people are going to be doing a lot of things, and we're people are celebrating the unofficial first day of summer. So they're going to have their cookouts and stuff, and then Memorial Day is on Monday, and people are going to be remembering those who gave their lives for this country. And there's so many other things that are going on this weekend with the shooting that happened just a couple of days ago. There's a switch that's happening, and a lot of plans that people had, they're not going to have them this weekend. A lot of things that they plan to do, they're not going to be doing this weekend. Things have gotten changed, and we need to listen to what people are saying. We need to pay attention to what they're speaking, because you don't know what's going on with people around you if you're not paying attention and listening. I had to I told my sister, like earlier in the week, one of my sisters, I told them, well, we were in talking in a group chat too, because we do have a chat for us, but I was telling them I can't, everything has been so overwhelming within the past couple of weeks, with the shootings that's happening, and then right here where I'm living, shootings happening, and they're right down the street from where you live, and different things are happening. So I was like, I need some time just to laugh. I This is like overwhelming, and I can't even imagine what people are going through who know the children, who knew the children, who knew children here, who knew, people who have gotten shot or killed, or in these different situations and stuff that's happening across the globe, and things that's happening right here where I live. So I was like, I need a breather. And some of us may need that. You may need to listen to that person when you're at that cookout this weekend. Pay attention to what's going on with some people, because they may not be dealing with things well. And you may need to sit and listen to them. You may need to pray with them. You may need to just be a sounding board for them. But if you're not there, if you're just there, oh, I'm just gonna go have me a good time, and you're not paying attention, you never know how your conversation, or you just sitting and listening, can turn things around, can change things. So that's what you want to do this weekend. I challenge you to listen, to pay attention, to discern, even when you're at the different events that may be going on. Even when you're at home, like I plan to be at home, resting. If you're at home and you're resting, be sensitive just to say, you know what, if someone comes across your heart, they come across your mind, pray for them. Pray for them. Call them up. Hey, how you doing? Are you okay? I just had you on my heart. I had you on my mind. I want to see how you're doing, because the one that we think is fine may not be. And we need to check on them, and we need to see how they're doing. We need to be able to start to understand each other, and begin to talk to each other, and see that other person for who they are. In the word of God, it tells us in Proverbs 4:7, wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and in all thy getting, get what? We all know, understanding. We need to understand. We need to understand in our conversations. We need to understand where that person is, and let them know if they're in this deep, dark place, if they're in that dark place, that they can come out and they can walk on the other side of this. But you want to be with them. You don't want to just like ride over things and to pretend like things are not there. Like people talk about that big elephant that's sitting right there in the room, and don't nobody want to say anything. You want to be with them in what they're doing. You can't take away their pain. You can't change their situation, but you can sit with them through it. You can help them walk through it. You can listen, and you can be a good person that listens, and have a conversation with this person. Have some communication Watch their mannerisms, because sometimes even in the way that a person sits, the way that they're handling themselves, it could be that they're dealing with some stuff. And I'm telling you, with a lot going on in the world right now, and with everything that's happening, a lot of people are dealing with a lot of things. And you want to be able to talk with them and just listen to them, especially our children. I mean, can you think about, I think about how I felt with everything that happened this week. But then I started thinking about my grands. I was like, what were they thinking? What's on their mind? If they see this on the news, what is going on in their minds? Because they're people, they're little people, but they're people, and they may have some challenges. They may feel overwhelmed. They may just feel like, I don't want to go to school, or I don't want to do this, or they may just start to pull in. So we need to pay attention to our children also. Our grands, we need to pay attention. We need to have conversations with them. We need to make sure that they're okay, that they're doing all right. You want to speak only after considering what the ramifications of it is. You don't want to just go talking just because you can talk. You want to think about what you're going to talk about before you talk about it. You want to make sure that you're thinking that thing through before you just go running off at the mouth and saying anything to anybody. When you're going to communicate to somebody, you want to communicate in a way where it's not just talk. It's like they hear what you're saying, but then they take an action after that. It's not just that, or you see certain things going on. You want that action to take place. You want them to take what you're saying and apply it, and to walk in it, and to move in it. So therefore, you want to make sure that when you speak a thing, that you're not just rolling off your tongue at anybody and saying anything in any given situation, because words we cannot take back. As much as we would want to, we can't take them back. Once the word has been spoken and it's been said, it's out there. And you can apologize for it, yes, but it doesn't take away what you said if you said it in a negative way, if you said it in a bad way. I remember words that people have spoken to me that have been good, that have lasted with me forever, and even things that have been bad that has lasted with me forever. So you want to make sure that you choose your words wisely, and that you speak wisely. When you speak, think about what you're going to speak about. Think about your conversations. It's a different thing if you're having a conversation with your girlfriend and y'all just hanging out, and you have, you're just talking. You're hanging out. You're not saying anything to hurt the other person. It's just that I'm maybe blowing off some steam. She may be blowing off some steam. We're talking. We're laughing. We're having a good time, and that's great. And we need those types of conversations. But if you're going to be in a conversation with someone and is dealing with something that's really heavy, or something that's on them, you want to sit, you want to pay attention. And even in those laughing conversations, even in those conversations where you're joking around and you having fun, hey Josie, how are you doing? Even when you are joking around and having fun, you still want to listen to what they're saying. Pay attention to what is on their heart. You want to have intentional conversations. Intentional. That means I intentionally want to sit down and talk to you. It's not that, oh, on a whim, I just want, no, you want to be intentional about your conversations too. You want to make sure that you get in there, that you talk to the people that are around you. I tell my children all the time, listen, you got your family, talk to them on a daily. Don't let them um go like 3, 4, 5 weeks and you haven't spoken. No, we don't do that. You want to make sure that you speak to family during the course of the week. You want to make sure that your conversation and your communication is like open, where you can be yourself and be who you are. You want to make sure that you're expressing yourself the way that you need to express yourself to your family members, to your friends. And a good friend, you should be able to communicate with, and you should be able to speak the truth to. And there shouldn't be where it's like, oh, you ain't my friend no more because I told you the truth. You may have that hard conversation with that friend, but you know what? They're gonna come back. They're gonna love you anyway because they were like, she wouldn't have said it if she didn't love me. She wouldn't have corrected me if she didn't care. If I didn't care about you, then I wouldn't say a word. But because I care, I'm not going to blast you out in front of everybody about a situation or a circumstance. No, that's not healthy, and we should not do that. But will I pull you to the side? Yes, I can pull you to the side. I can let you know, this wasn't right, or this didn't go well, or you should maybe do this, or maybe you should do that. And I should be able to receive the same thing from you if we are communicating properly, if we are having those types of conversations. So we want to make sure, guys, that we are communicating well and that we're doing what we need to do. I'm just looking over here at my paper, where I had wrote down communication should bring about application and change. So when you're talking to somebody and you're communicating with them well, it should you should be able to share your heart. You should be able to share what's going on in your heart. They should be able to hear it. And then they say, okay, well, I'm not going to do this anymore, or I'm going to try to change this around because this really hurts her, or this really bothers him, or, where can we come to a compromise at? Because I hear what you're saying, but then, it's going to take me changing it. And it may take me a while to change this behavior. If I've been having this behavior, for 52 years, and you're asking me to change it overnight, it may not happen. But communicating with that person, communicating and talking to them. And I'm telling you, your body language will speak louder sometimes than your words. So you need to make sure that your body language is speaking what you're saying in your heart too. I know some people look at me and they say, oh, she's mean, because I have like that silent look sometimes. And I don't even know that the look is on my face, but I started trying to be more conscious of it. I don't try to change who I am for somebody else. But a lot of times if I have that look where they thinking that I'm mean, I am thinking about something. And I may be upset about something, but it has nothing to do with them, but it's going on in my brain. So I try to make sure that I'm conscious of it and I'm paying attention. And if I'm thinking real hard about something, because I do a lot of times, I was like, okay, you can let that go. Because sometimes even the thoughts, the words in your mind, the conversation that you have on the inside of you, sometimes those can be bad. So we want to make sure that we're speaking positively, even about ourselves. Because I have conversations with me. I don't know about anybody else that may be listening to me on tonight, but I have conversations with myself, and I have to be careful about what I say about me. I have to be careful about what I let roll around up in here in my mind about myself. So I have to, sometimes if I'm having a conversation with me, it helps me to understand some things. I speak it out loud, and I know people be like, oh, what's she doing? I mainly do it when I'm at home. Just talk out loud. I'm talking out loud to myself, and I'll be like, well, now, Angie, and I have these conversations. Why? Because it helps me get it out. It helps me hear. I'm listening to myself. And before the end of my own conversation with myself, a lot of times I get my answer. A lot of times I'm like, okay, why are you rolling this around in your brain anyway? Let it go. That's where your stress is coming from. That's why you feeling the way that you're feeling, because of the thoughts that you're allowing in your mind. Can you just see how powerful words are? People can get like on the news and they can say something, or if they have a platform and they're speaking from that platform and they say something and people are following them, people will literally, can turn up some things and change some things around. They don't even realize the power of their words. Just the power of their words. People say certain things and it changes somebody's whole day, all because they spoke something, all because they shared something. In the Bible, it said, in the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. Words were there in the beginning. God spoke and said, "Let there be," and there was. And we think that our words are not powerful, but in the Word, it tells us that we were made in His image. And if we have been made in His image, our words are powerful also. And we can use our words to build somebody up, or we can use our words to tear somebody down. We can have these good conversations, and sometimes we can have these hard conversations. Sometimes it doesn't even matter what you're saying, it's how you say it. Some people, you got to know the person you're talking to, and you got to be able, if you have compassion, you have empathy, you have compassion, you have love, you have respect for the person that you're conversing with, that conversation goes a whole different way than if you don't have any respect for them at all, or any love for them at all. Even if you remotely like them a little bit, you're going to watch what you say. You're going to say what needs to be said, but you're not going to say it in a nasty way. It's like we don't need to be nice, nasty either. Because some people can talk to you in such a nice tone and a nice way and just be nasty, and we don't want to do that either. We want that when we communicate with each other, we want it to change some things. I want to be able to communicate my heart to those who I am close with and still have them love me for who I am, and not look at me totally different and start treating me different or doing different because I share information with you or because I communicated to you. But then we need to learn how to communicate effectively. I see so many people around me who do not around me that I probably know them. No, I watch people, like I told you in the beginning, and they don't communicate properly to each other. One person is talking, the other person's already figured out in their mind what they're going to say to you by the time you finish, so they don't hear nothing you say. So then they start going in at you, and everybody want to be right. Everybody want to have the final word. They want to be the one to come in and have that final word because they think because I'm coming in with the final word that I'm right. No, you're not. You can have the final word and be wrong all day long. You need to be able to have some conversations with some people, talk to them, and go back to communicating face to face, talking to people. Stop all that texting and all that leaving messages for people. You call them when you know they can't answer the phone because you don't want to have a conversation with them. You just want to say what you want to say and get off the phone. Don't do that. We need to go back to talking to each other. Now it's like weird. Sometimes I go out, even in my neighborhood, and I see people and I say, "Good morning." And they look at you like, "Why are you speaking to me?" Because you're a human being. And it's nice, to speak to people when you're walking past them. You shouldn't just walk past them and like look off in the distance like you don't see them standing there. You can at least say good morning. You can say, "Hey, how are you?" You know, you can wave, do something. You don't have to ignore people. Where where are people's hearts? It's like just say good morning and you can keep walking. I don't stop to have conversations with people, but that good morning could change somebody's life. That good morning, could help them out. I don't have to stand there and talk to you for 20 minutes, 5 minutes, or even 2 minutes. I can just say good morning and get in my car and go and do what I need to do. So we need to make sure that we are looking at people and that we see them as being humans, that we don't um, write them off and we don't just move away from people, and we don't that we start back having conversations, communicating with people, I mean, when you go into work in the morning, you would be amazed if you would speak to people when you go to work in the morning. A lot of people don't. They just walk past people in the hallway. You walk past people at your job. You don't say not one word. And then you be like, I don't have no friends. Ain't nobody talking to me because you are not showing yourself friendly. Show yourself friendly. You might get some friends. But we need to see each other and realize that we're all in this together. We're all in this together. Like I was saying, like with the shooting that happened, even the shooting that happened before that at the grocery store, then you had the shooting that happened at the school, and then people are going to come together. They're going to be together. They're supporting each other. But what happens by December, guys? What happens by January? You know, are the people still standing with each other? It's like we'll come together for this cause and we'll come together for, but we need to stay standing together and stay with each other and communicate with each other. And don't let this just be another tragedy or another thing that happens. We're talking about it, talking. Next thing you know, ain't nobody talking about nothing. News has gone on to something else different, and we have moved on to something else different too. We stop praying, we stop having conversations about it and talking to each other about it. And meanwhile, somebody is still dealing with it. Somebody's still dealing with how can this happen, and some people are still trying to process it. We want to make sure that we don't just take these things as norm, and we don't have the conversations that we need to have with each other and with each other and with family members, with friends, with coworkers. Sometimes we just need to have the conversations. And guys, sometimes silence, when people try to use silence, it is a form of like rebellion sometimes. Or, oh, I'm going to get back at you because I know you want to talk. So I am going to be silent. I'm not going to say anything. And that's not good either. That's not good either. We need to express how we feel. If we're not sure on how we are feeling about a situation, we need to say, you know what? I'm not sure how I feel about this. If you're in a heated discussion, as people call it, and not argument, but a heated discussion, you need to let them know. If you have no words right then, you need to say, you know what? I don't have anything to say concerning this right now. It's bothering me. It's in my heart. It's like I have so many things that I need to say, but I don't even know how to put all my words together. So I'm not going to say anything. So at least they know that you're not saying anything because you're choosing not to at that point. You may be so heated to the point you're saying, you know what, if I say something, I'm going to say the wrong thing. So I'm not going to say anything. Okay. Let them know I'm not saying anything right now. I'm not going to say it because if I say it, I may regret the words that come out of my mouth. So I am not going to say anything right now. We will revisit this later when we can talk. And sometimes that's what you need to do. And effective communication is more than just us talking to each other. In order for it to be effective, it's like it's transforming our words into actions. So it's like effective communication, because I can talk to you all day long and you cannot hear a thing that I'm saying. So therefore your actions don't change. You don't change towards me. If I say, you know what, I don't like it when you touch me on my shoulder like that. And I'm communicating that to you. And I'm allowing you to know that part of me that bothers me. It has nothing to do with you. It's just, I don't like it when people are in my face or like close to me like that. If a person is paying attention and you have communicated that effectively, and they're sitting there like, you know what, they're not paying you no attention, and they continue to do it and continue to do it, it's going to cause friction. It's going to cause you to be upset because you're saying, okay, I told you this, and you're still doing it. So it makes me feel like you don't really care. So then it comes to communicating, I don't feel like you really care because I told you this and you haven't even remotely tried to change it. You just have not tried to change it. So we need to be effective in our communication. We need to, that's why I love it. I love the exercise that they have where you speak that to that person and that person speaks back to you what they said, and they said, what I understand you're saying is, and they begin to talk it back to you and say, this is what I'm understanding. Because sometimes when they say that, it'd be like, and they say certain things, you say, oh, that's not what I'm saying. I had that with somebody before where I was sharing some things with them and they didn't understand. It was causing an argument. And I said, hey, wait a minute. This is what I said. And they were like, oh, that's what you said. So you meant this, and this. And I was like, yes, that's what I meant. And they was like, oh, I thought you was talking about something totally different. And because they thought I was speaking something totally different and talking about something totally different, it was causing an argument. And I was like, hold up, wait a minute. We shouldn't even be arguing because we're basically saying the same thing. But I had to stop the conversation, just stop everything and say, hey, wait a minute. This is what I'm saying. And it took them listening to me. And when they listened, they were like, oh, that's what you would. And I was like, yes. So we're basically saying the same thing, but we're getting in an argument because nobody was listening. So we needed to step back and we needed to listen. And sometimes that's what you need to do is step back and listen. I know I'm throwing all this information out here to you tonight, but I want us to be listening to each other. I want you to hear what people are not saying. I want you to hear it and make sure that you're hearing right. Because you can go by their mannerisms. You can say, hey, you know what? I was watching you and I kind of feel like this is going on or that's going on. And they may say, that's not it. It's because of this, and this that this is going on. Or they may even tell you, I really don't want to talk about what's happening. But to say that I'm off, yes, I am off. And I just ask that you pray for me, or I just want to be left alone sometimes, so I can ponder my thoughts and get through this. But I'm gonna be okay. And thank you for noticing. Because sometimes people walk past people like they're invisible. You don't even notice that that person is has checked out, you know, or this person may be going through some things because they put on that smile and they are there for you and they just doing everything that they need to do. And meanwhile, they are going through so much that they will never say out loud. So we need to discern and we need to know where people are. But it's going to take you paying attention. It's going to take you sometimes being quiet and listening to what people are saying. Sometimes it may take a little investigation sometimes because you're sitting and you have to invest in people. We don't do that a lot of times anymore. We need to invest in each other. We need to spend that time with that person that you care about, because if you love them, you will give your time to get to know who they are and to get to love on them and to realize, you know what, we are all people. We all go through things, whether we're on this mountaintop right now or whether we're down in this valley right now, whether we're somewhere in between there right now. We all need somebody else. We are not out here by ourselves. We are not alone. You are not alone. When you're going through this weekend and you're with family, some people think because you're hanging out with your family, you got this big group of people around you that you feel like you belong. Sometimes you don't, but realize that you are not alone. You're not. You're not. You're not by yourself. It may feel that way, but you are not alone. God has somebody that's praying for you, whether they know you or not. I prayed for a lot of people that I didn't even know who they were, but I would see their faces and begin to pray. And then later on, I think it maybe been like one or two people that I have met that I saw. I was like, oh man, I had I knew them before I knew them, and they're flourishing now, but I didn't know them before, but I just knew that it was in my heart to pray for this person, and I would see their faces and pray for them. And one of the people I did get to meet, I'm like, wow. I said, God, you're awesome. You are awesome. Guys, I want you to just enjoy your weekend. Do like I'm going to do, because this has been an overwhelming and heavy week. So this weekend, I plan to just relax. I want to laugh. I want to laugh, 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 because I know that I need that. Laughter is a form of release for me. So I want to laugh about some things. I want to be in joy. So you do what you need to do for those things to release. Some people it's tears. So they cry and they release, and it's done, and they can focus and move forward. But I don't want you to stay in a place of being depressed, or stay in a place of being, like isolated. I want you to have joy. I want you to begin to do that thing that's going to cause you to have joy in your life, so that you continue to move forward, because what you're doing will help somebody else. It may be that one person, but it's that one person. It's going to help somebody else. Be the light in somebody else's life this weekend. Be the light, be the laughter in somebody else's heart this weekend, okay? Make sure that you're taking care of you, so that you're able to take care of other people, right? Because we're all human beings and we're in this thing together, and we are not alone. You're not alone. I am Angela the Oliphant, allowing you to see, to hear, and to know that whole and beautiful is not just your destination, guys. It is most definitely your journey. Join me back here next week at 7 p.m. on Friday. We'll be right back here. I should have a guest for you next week, and we're going to talk to them and share their story with you. But you know what? Even if I don't have a guest, even if it doesn't work out, I'll be right back here ready to share some information with you that'll bring about a revelation, and prayerfully it will bring about a change. So until we meet again next week, you can watch the replay tomorrow at 4 p.m. I am Angela the Oliphant, and I'm saying have a good weekend, guys. Love you much. Thank you for tuning in. Good night.